What's up, guys? Bringing it back to you. I have not done this problem in a long time, so I have no idea what we're getting into today. Hopefully, it's not too bad. Also, upgraded the mic. Got one of these stand mics. Sister got this for me, so shout out to the sis. I think my audio quality is probably a lot better than it was before. Anyways, let's get into this one. You'll see in my tab I have contains duplicate pulled up. I actually just did that one before this, like kind of a warm up. I have not done LeetCode in like a month, so did this one. Essentially, just used a set here. This one is given an array integer nums, turn true if any value appears at least twice, false if every element is distinct. So just if there is any value that appears twice in the array is what you're trying to find out. Now with a set, when you add things to a set, it actually returns a Boolean, and if it returns false, it means it didn't add it. So that's how I ended up solving that problem. So just some intuition there. This one, I think, is going to be solved by some sort of hash map, hash set, something like that. Let's read the problem. Given an unsorted array of integers nums, okay, so parameter nums not sorted. Return the length of the longest consecutive elements sequence. Longest consecutive elements sequence. You must write an algorithm that runs in O of n time, so no sorting. Okay. So longest consecutive element sequence. What does that mean? That means as in like 0, 1, 2, 3. Let's look at the examples here. So we have 104, 200, 1, 3, 2, 4. Longest consecutive elements sequence. Longest consecutive element sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks like ordering doesn't necessarily matter. Interestingly enough. Therefore, it's like this 4. Okay. So, and then let's look at example 2. So we have 0. So 0, 1. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's how you got 9. And then this one's 0, 1, 2. That's how you got 3. Okay, so order doesn't really matter. We just need to know what it means by longest consecutive element sequence is the number numerically that comes next. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And this was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'd be length 5. Okay, so how can we figure that out? Or me, like in my mind right now, I'm thinking either a hash map or hash set, and store the values in there, and then go through the lowest value. But then I'm thinking, okay, so we can't sort. So how is that gonna work? So we couldn't, like go through the lowest. What I was saying is go through the lowest value, and then do like if this contains the current value we're looking at, plus 1, which we can do that for any value. We don't necessarily have to start at the lowest. So I'm trying to think of this now. Let's look at example 1. And I don't know if this will work, but example 1, we have 104, 200, 1, 3, 2. Okay. So I'll start at 100, and then I say, now I have everything in a set. So I have everything in a set. So I have all these numbers. Then I go and I say, does I don't know if set has it contains. Let's see, because I have the auto on, but I'm pretty sure it does. So set of integers num set equals new hash set. Okay, cool. So nums dot contains, or not nums, nums set dot contains. I guess it does exist. Nums dot num sub 0, just something like that. Does that work? Yeah, okay. So we can do contains. So I think we throw every item into the, let's write intuition out right here. So I don't have to keep repeating, so I want to make sure you guys are like on the same page. Throw every element in nums into num set. Then for each element in nums, check if num sub x, or let's say like element plus 1 exists in set. If so, what do we do there? If it exists in the set, then we kind of want to have a nested, like we'd have a nested loop there to continue on. Now that would be in, I don't know if that would be in X something else, so it couldn't run in that time. Like, is this not going to work this way? If the element exists in the set, then I was thinking we'd have like a current greatest and a max greatest. And we do like math.max, current greatest, max greatest. Then we would have to move to that number. So it'd have to be like, it's not going to run an O of n times. So is there a different way that we can do this in O of n time? Should we code this out? Because like what I'm saying, I'm pretty sure will work, but I don't think it's going to be O of n. Might be O of n x. All right, welcome back. So I got stumped. I looked it up. The way that we're doing it, the way that the intuition is going is actually correct. There's only one small thing that we can do. Some of you may have already thought of it on your own. That will bring this from what I was saying, O of n times k, back to O of n. So the issue with, let me finish out this intuition, and then we'll talk about what the issue is with it. So we throw all the elements into a num set. For each element in nums, check if nums plus 1 exists in set. If so, we do like a streak plus plus and continue checking if element plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 up to n exists. Continue incrementing streak. Compare streak to a max length. Okay, and then eventually we'll return max length. So this works. Now the problem with this is the n plus k, so time complexity here is going to be O of n, not plus k, n times k, where n is nums length and k is length of each consecutive sequence. And let's look at the example here. So for example 1, we do this route. We see 1. And we see 1, 2, 3, 4. So we count that. We see our streak is 4. Max length is 0 off the rip here. Or max length would really be 1 because this would be 1. This would be 1. This would be 1. Then we get here and it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we see 4 versus 1, keep it 4, great. Now we get to 2. Then we have to do 2, 3, 4. Then we get to 3. Then we do 3, 4. And we know those aren't useful, but the intuition of how to fix this to get rid of this k is how we know that anything that has a part of the sequence like 3, we've already counted the longest one because we've already started from 1. So what we can do is anything that, if we're looking at a nums, if nums minus, or like the element minus 1 already exists in the set, then we know it's not the start. So like 3 minus 1 already exists. So we know that it's not the start, because 2 is not the start of this 1 through 4 sequence. 2 minus 1 is 1. So 2 is not the start because 1 exists. Now 1 minus 1 does not exist. That would be 0. And if there was a 0 in here, the length would be 5. So we know 1 is the start. So when something is the start is the only time we really need to do this while loop iteration count. Okay. Let's see if I can code this up. Alright, so we already made our num set, and we have another one called int max length equals 0. And what else we want to do? Like a for int I in nums, numset dot add I. So just adding the items into the set. Okay, so now here's our logic of for int I nums again, maybe. I don't know. We'll need to do the whole iterative thing to keep track of like the thing, but we'll just say it in I nums. Okay, so now we can say if nums, do like negation if numset dot contains I, which is the value here, minus 1, then we do our while loop. While I think we'll need a int current equal to I. While current while it contains the value, we do streak plus plus. Now our streak is 1 because we've added the value. Then we do current plus plus. And then down here, I think we would just do math.max, max length, and streak. Okay, now we need to return max length. Okay, let's do a run of that. Does that work? It does not work. It returns 0. Okay, I didn't do max length equals math.max max length. Okay, let's try that. Okay, accepted. All right, that looked pretty promising. I'm not gonna lie. Now it's time limit exceeded. Okay, so I did not implement something right here. Okay, so I pretty much did a bunch of debugging here. What I ended up doing that changes from the TLE issue was I went from nums here to num set. So I guess that pushed it down to O of n time. It really was like right on the border there. I was thinking it really was O of n regardless, but that just made it pass for LeetCode. So I'll say that this solution is good enough for me. This, I mean, worked for me. Let's see what the editorial says. Brute force in cubic. Okay, we definitely don't care about that one. Sorting and login, we could have done that one ourselves. Hash set and intelligence sequence building. Whoa, that sounds fancy. So this is actually what I did. Okay, so this is what I did. Okay, dang, I'm fancy, huh? All right, so num set, got that. We did that. We did the max length. We did num set. See, this is what they did for the num set, and that looks like really like the only difference that um, from what we did. So I guess we just needed that. Whatever. All right, that works for me. And then streak, I originally actually had this as 0, and it would have been streak plus plus, but that was wrong because we're already looking at 1, so it would have been off by 1, I guess. So I changed that to 1. But all right, I guess that's it for longest consecutive sequence. You know, I am not mad about that. Getting back into LeetCode, I haven't done LeetCode in like a while. Let's look at my profile for a second. Yeah, so you see, I was actually going pretty hard at the beginning of the year, you know, New Year's resolutions, and then I really fell off. So it's been like literally over a month, pretty much. So I did like one last night too, but you know how the overnight thing works. But yeah, getting back into it. Appreciate you guys being here for it. I'll see you in the next one.